given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed.
Peace and blessings, family. My name is Heavenly Joy, and you are in the sacred space of Truly Heavenly Joy. Today we are recording in my truck because my last recording, my dog was very boisterous, and so I decided to sit in the vehicle today. So this is at the moment, my office, and we're going to get busy today. So I was walking through the grocery store today, and I was thinking about how, like, where I am in my life. So on my podcast, I kind of talked about going back home, being grateful for where I am, having a good man, having grown a lot since the last time I've been home. I left Ohio in 2006, and when I left, I was coming off of ecstasy. I was very much addicted to that, and it really the escape. It was like Thursday through Sunday. I was doing it every week. And then an alcoholic. I was definitely an alcoholic, drinking like Belvy and Grey Goose, and like that was my stuff. I mean, me and my girls, we could like kill it, you know. But anyway, and hold it down. That's the thing, and hold it down. But nonetheless, I left as that person on a journey to figure out who she really was. I wanted to know who I was. And I knew that what I was doing wasn't what I really wanted for my life. And I knew that there were some things that I needed to shift, starting with my environment. And I think the reason why I needed to leave home specifically was because there was so much pain. There was so much pain, and it was pain that I couldn't even put my finger on. I couldn't tell you what it was because, as I explained in the last podcast, I had lost my memory at 16 from a drug-induced nervous breakdown. Someone whom I was supposed to be able to trust allowed another person by the name of Eddie, whom I don't even keep in contact with. It's not any of the Eddies who are in my life, so let me just make sure we're very clear of that. But the person laced my weed with embalming fluid. And for those of you who are familiar with that, a lot of people don't return from an experience like that. But I lost my memory for 14 years. I fumbled through life for 14 years until I went to St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. And I'm so very grateful for the VI. I'm grateful for the people. I'm grateful for the land. I'm grateful for the energy. I'm grateful for the plant medicine that's there because I drank so much bush tea. Those of you that know that bush tea is going to cleanse you out, you know what I mean? And there was a metaphysical store, Love and Light bookstore, in which I worked at part-time. And then I also was able to purchase a lot of crystals. I learned a lot about energy healing. I had a transpersonal energy healing done by Ariella. And I mean, there are so many different things. I had a Yoruba priestess work on me and work with me. There was so much that needed to happen in order for me to find me, so then I could actually start to address the pain. But because of the nervous breakdown at that age, everything that happened between like 16 and 30, I had no real, I'll be honest, like it didn't feel like I could account for it because I was just kind of just doing without any real understanding of what I was doing. I couldn't connect one experience to the next. And if you think about it, our life experience is full of lessons, right? You have a lesson, you do this, and you know like this is the end result, so you know like you shouldn't do this again. But I had, even though I understood some parts of it, there's a lot of the wisdom from the experience that I just had no way of being able to connect one moment to the next. I was just in a fog. And even though my trauma was a drug-induced trauma which caused that to happen, I feel personally that trauma period can cause us to fumble through life, to not be able to connect one experience to the next. And we feel like victims, and we feel pain, and we feel sufferation. We can't really understand, like, well, why would God put us here if we're going to go through all these things? And honestly, and I get that. I have been there. There are, I don't really slide back into that anymore because I have a very strong spiritual foundation. But it doesn't mean that I don't have moments in which I suffer. And so I just want to make sure that those of you who hear any of the things that I say, I really feel that we have to become very solid in our personal practice and not a practice of someone else's ideas. So whether it be our parents or our community in which we're in, like, this experience of the divine is very personal, and that is really what helped me through. And I'm grateful that when I went to the islands, although I was met with all of these different spiritual practices in which I had never heard of, the opportunity to try these different things were there, and at the same time, no one was pushing any one thing on me. It was really like, God is this. This is God. You are God. I am God. We are experiencing God. And that allowed me the freedom to be able to choose what my path would look like. How would I experience God? How would I experience life? And so I say all that to say is that this understanding, understanding, connection with the divine, and this healing has taken many years. Many years. And yet the years went by so fast. Like, I can remember hearing that it was going to take forever. Like, oh yeah, if you have this pain, it's going to take, so many years for you to heal from it. The first time I heard that, I was still in pain. So I was like, well, what's the point if it's going to take forever for me to heal? But what I recognize is that is the journey itself anyway. It's like remembering and healing and becoming, whatever that means. And so we're constantly on this evolution. So we really shouldn't fear the unknown aspect of growing beyond this discomfort, or even leaning into the discomfort. And so today, as I was walking through the grocery store, I was just thinking about all these different things, and that right now I'm in a place where I don't feel like I'm leaning too far, too back in my past, and I'm not leaning too forward into my future. I'm kind of like just right here. I'm not running from anything, and I'm not running towards anything, if that makes sense. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of my past choices to move somewhere was either I was running from something or running to something. And right now it doesn't feel like either one. It's kind of like I just know it's time to go home, and I'm cool with that. And for a long time I wasn't cool with that. I never wanted to move back home to Ohio, mostly because of the weather. And all at the same time, I understand that even that could hold within it a gift for me that I have yet to see. I remember having wintertime depression terribly. And I'm in a position now where I know, like, I don't have to stay there all winter if I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, you could live somewhere and not be there all the time, right? And so I think my perspective of it has changed. And also with the coolness of winter, with the coolness of the earth, with the plants not growing as green as they used to, there is also a lot of reflection, that winter offers us that spring doesn't. Spring offers a newing, an awakening, all the possibilities. But to me, sometimes winter offers you can call it a dying of something, or a reevaluation of something that may have worked in the past. It could be business. It could be maybe last year you did business a particular way, and you're able to slow down enough because of the weather to see that maybe I need to shift my business to include this, or maybe I need to take this out. But the slowing down, the not being able to get out on the road because there's a snowstorm, really offers us those moments. Maybe it's even a moment to say, you know what? I haven't really dedicated or livicated some time to self-care. And now that I can't go anywhere, I might as well take the time to do that. Or maybe I need to refreshen and rebirth my spiritual practice. And because I've gotten so caught up in life and being responsible, I haven't sat in front of my altar, or I haven't read the pages of the holy books, whatever it may be. And I need to sit down and slow down and do that. Or maybe I need to sit with my family, because I'm always running around and they're always running around. But maybe because we're all stuck in the house, we should have some family time. It's just everything that used to like these things I'm telling you, I never thought about that when I was younger. I never thought about that when I lived in Ohio. I never thought that when these things came up, when winter came and I was depressed, I never thought of it as an opportunity. I thought of it as like a, what would I say, a curse in a sense, because of how heavy I felt. And now I know it could be something so beautiful. Like I have my girlfriend Shannon, who has a women's group in which they talk about, you know, I don't know if it's just about the books or if it's a support group for women, but that is like perfect for something like this, because a lot of women may be suffering with depression and need to talk about that. I need to talk about where it's coming from. And perhaps if they're in a position where they're open to reprogramming the way in which they think, this is an opportunity to do that and be held in a space that's sacred and beautiful so that they can grow. You know, like there's so many pieces of like, winter does offer us so much more. And so I've made peace. I say all that to say that I've made peace with the aspect of, yeah, it's going to be cold. And my bones is probably going to feel it, but that's why I have a yoga practice. You know what I mean? And that's why we have heat. And that's why I have a deep bathtub so I can soak in sometimes. And, you know, making sure that I'm putting things in my body that are going to help with that, you know. So whether it be more gingers or turmeric, things that are going to help warm up the body. And so I am in a space where I'm cool with that, and I'm not rushing it. You know, I am looking for the way in which to go home. I'm looking for a home. I have someone who is there in Ohio who is helping us look for a property. And all at the same time, I'm not stressed about when. You know, I say by spring because I feel like that was the time that my mom and I talked about. And all at the same time, I'm open to when that's going to happen. However, I do feel this energy that is really catapulting us in that direction. And I think that that's another aspect of me that I love, is that I trust my instincts. You know, I trust my intuition. And I didn't always trust my intuition. And so hopefully by me sharing this with you, this also encourages you to trust your intuition, and to be more open to looking at the things that once used to irritate us or cause us to feel like these were moments of struggle and strife. Maybe look for the lessons within them. For those of you who I will be coming back home to, I'm really looking forward to, if you are willing to do the work, I'm looking forward to supporting you in your evolution, because I know that you deserve so much more. You deserve to be happy, and you deserve to be healed. And a lot of it takes us to heal our thoughts, reprogram our thoughts, and be around people who are going to help us find our ways, and honor our way to healing. So I guess that's it, you know. And I think the thing that I took away after I came home from the grocery store was that this place where I am, that's not leaning too far into the future or too much into the past, is kind of like yoga. There's a pose in yoga called Warrior One, I believe, and I hope I'm saying it right. And one of the things we say is not to lean too far into the future, and don't lean too, you know, much into the past, but to find that centering, to find that, like, you're right here now. Be here now. Because this now is going to offer so much to prepare you for what you want in your future. Still hold on to your future. Still see it. Still, like, send the energy towards it. When I meditate, I have in my third eye where I want to be. I hold that energy. When I'm not being sexually active with my partner, or if before I had a sexual partner, I would hold that sexual energy and pull it up from my womb, up through my body to my third eye, and send that energy out, because our sexual energy is an energy that helps manifest. That's why we can bring children into the world, but it's not just used for that. And so for men and women both, instead of like just spreading our seeds all over the place or whatever, or you know, utilizing your fluids in a way that's not gonna really benefit you, even utilizing that to help you to manifest the next peace that you want to create. And so there's so many things that I want to share. There's so many fruits that I've learned. And I'm really excited. I'm excited to have the platform here, as well as when I get home, to set up the wellness center so that we can have these discussions. And it may start out small. We may start out having them at my house, or someone else's house who's going to host an event. I'm open to all of it. I just want us to grow in a healthy manner. And any things we need to address that are still coming up for us, that are from the past, I want to heal that. So if there's someone out there whom we've had an encounter in the past in which you may have felt slighted, because I wasn't always this good person I am today. I didn't always lean into that. Or if you felt hurt, or if you felt betrayed, or you felt left, or whatever you felt, I want you to know that this is a sacred space in which we can address those things, heal those things, by getting to see what both aspects were seeing. What was your experience? What did you feel? What were you thinking? What was my experience? What was I feeling? What was I thinking? And then with utilizing our full sight now, right? Being older now, we can kind of have the conversations to heal those things. And that's just the only way I know how to do it, is to talk about it, even when it's uncomfortable. So I am really, really, really excited about moving forward and sharing more with you all. May the divine continue to guide us as we heal the spaces within us that have been forgotten. And may we remember, and may we become. Peace.